Oh, there we go. Thanks, Opal. Yeah, so I did back as I started unboxing here. Once again, audio. I've got it all unmuted and everything, and some other problem. Who knows? I'm pretty certain I turned that pack on, but maybe it says three batteries, so it should stay 3 bars, so it should be full the whole time, on the whole time we're here. So yeah, I backed the Marvel, DC Heroes United. I was like, last week I was kind of wondering whether they were actually going to be able to deliver anything. I had not heard anything about this, other than they said it was going to ship like in July or June, something like that. And so they had it. Amazon had it. It's fine. It's another probably $6 down the United sinkhole. But we'll see. Hopefully they'll get it all. I mean, this is exciting. At least I have something from the DC Superheroes. It's Superheroes United. I thought it was DC Heroes United. So there you go. Don't even have the name right. But yeah, they're using tokens that are the same. So I didn't back the tokens in the new version of the game because I already have them. And I think that the only difference is there were 4 additional tokens that when you flipped these over the thugs, you would have maybe the Joker, I can't remember. I just thought about it for a little bit. I'm like, yeah, I don't really want all those tokens. There's way more than we need. All right, these actually look pretty cool, minis-wise. Let's see here. Put this back. But yeah, it's been busy. I was actually, I'm shocked that I mean, I had everything prepared. I got out here and airbrushed earlier. Thought I had it all. But once again, the audio has foiled me. I can't win. I mean, I didn't even run it very long. I could have just had it on and kept my mouth shut, but I always like mute it just in case I drop something on myself or cut myself and curse. So I've been trying to be good. Anyway, let's see. So I'm trying to open the old album style way, which is you rub the edge of the cellophane like a corner on your jeans and it opens. I say old album way, but people are buying albums again. We had our friend's daughter come over. She had a Sisters of Mercy album, which I don't think I ever had the vinyl. Nikki probably had the vinyl. I only ever had the CD, but it was a brand new vinyl. I'm like, well, I wonder if we have it. So these look the same as they usually do as far as art-wise and stuff. I'm eager. This will probably be what we end up doing on the show if we do something, or this or the next one. The goal is then, if that's the case, which I would like it to be because I keep painting these things, is I will do these, Batarang. I will work on these as hard as I can. I'm only doing one right now. So I don't have all 3 sets. I don't know that Scott's going to buy it. But I wonder if they had any misprints. They had misprints on the last Marvel multiverse, and that was a bummer. Like right away, somebody's like, "Did the cards get?" And I don't know whether I had looked at them yet. I believe that was also an unboxing on the. I guess I can zoom out a bit. You guys can't really see much. Had an unboxing of the Marvel multiverse one, and we realized that they had double printed like 2 different characters on the backs of one of the cards, and I think that was the big one. Who knows? The problem is they couldn't. So they did do the Witching Hour, which I did buy that on. I pre-ordered that. Still haven't received the pre-order, but I bought a box of it on Amazon, and I want to paint those too. I mean, they're mostly redos. Okay. So Eric Lang did not, I think I mentioned this on Thursday, Eric Lang did not work on this one. Now, he built the system, but not working on it. I don't know what I mean, I had never even thought of some of the things people were talking about for these. My dream is that they'll do a Star Wars one. I really don't know. I hope Simon can come out of this. I don't know. But somebody mentioned Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was like, oh, that one would be pretty fun. And it doesn't necessarily have a ton of, like, that one could be handled in a box, maybe, you know. I'm sure there's more characters over the years from the comic books, but, and I'm sure there's villains and stuff on the shows and things like that. I don't know. I didn't really ever watch much of that. We did watch the new last year's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, which was a production that I know Seth Rogen worked on, and Evan Goldman is his name. They're partners. And Seth Rogen had a voice in it, show, but he was not any of the leads. He was one of the other mutants. Cool. And so hopefully, let's look at the minis. That's actually really what I want to look at. Oh, he's on the light. I love it. How do I make that super bright? That's going to be some OSL. Now time to zoom in. It's going to be some OSL fun, and I'm not the best at OSL, so I'm going to have to get better at it because I think that should be bright. Again, it's not going to be bright enough. It's going to basically be a white light and then some a little bit of splash over on the housing, but the housing's sloped back, so maybe his hand will be brighter too. Should be. Part of the cape. That's cool. It's neat to see them. I mean, I wasn't sure. Wow, the plastic is much harder. Feels much harder than it's been. Although I don't know. The D&D minis I painted kind of have messed with my brain on the. That's a hefty whip. Messed with my brain on these because those are so soft. Cool. They actually look pretty decently molded too. That's a weird. I think that's a injection point. Very strange. Won't matter. Could be a little bit of damage. Robin. Interesting. Wow. They do look good. So in painting them today, I was kind of like, I was painting some of the multiverse ones, and I was, wow, the plastic is pretty great. Let's see how this cleans. I need to clean these soon. I'm not going to do it today, but I need to clean these soon if I'm going to, let's also not poke myself in the finger. I did that the other day, which was super bright. I do need to clean them up if I'm going to paint them, but I don't want to do that today. I actually am excited to paint. I really wanted to prime. I'm going to work on Mighty Thor. So there was like this whole rigmarole last week that supposedly Google was hacked, and they claim that someplace else, I have no idea. I need to do some real. Scott, BGG owner, was warning us all to change passwords, which guess what? Good time to change it. Make sure you have two-factor authentication going on and stuff. So I did change passwords, turned on the authentication that was not on some others. But I've also read that maybe it's not really a big problem. I don't know. But, you know, Google, who are pretty decent with their security, I'm sure, but, you know, I don't know. Having a problem, you know, is worrisome. Amazon, too, I would imagine, if they had something happen. I think on Saturday? Must have been. Today is the 2nd, right? It's either Saturday or Sunday. There was a Stern Pinball had a badge that was a bat that we needed to go and do. Like, Nikki's going to want to do that one. Scott had told me, reminded me about it, because I'd read about it earlier in the month, but I'd completely forgotten about it. That, you know, it's just those kind of achievement things that don't really matter. Wow, so there's a lot of mold lines on this guy. again, so I was saying the other day when I painted, are they here? When I painted the, yeah, they're over here. The mold lines are really prominent on the unfinished minis, and I'm sure they're still there, but these go underneath. I didn't look at the consoles. So you don't have to really go too crazy. It's not that big of a deal. I'm just, wow, why am I wasting my time there? Neat. Oh wow, are they I guess they work together. Cool. I just hope they can get it out. I mean, you know, I have quite a bit of money now including this, $360 some, $560 some. I'm really crazy. I really hope they can pull it off. I mean, you know, they do have a partner on this with the Spin Master, so I don't know how much money, I think I mentioned this too, I don't know how much money they're going to get, why am I doing that, that they'll get in the sales of this, but I hope it's some. They really could use it. I mean, 8 million losses so far for the first half of this year, pretty bad. Let's see here. Anyway, focusing on the not so great, but let's focus on the great. This is cool. There's some minis if you really want to play some DC stuff. DC Superheroes United. Go for it. It's not terribly expensive. 8 minis isn't bad. Comes out to $4 a mini, right? With tax. No, 32 without tax. So $4 a mini is not terrible. And they look good. They're the people that do these. This is all, I don't know what the situation is with Big Child Creatives, because they are not. I mean, you know, they took back. I'm not even sure what happened. You know, because a lot of those things have been sold. They sold like all of the Zombicide except for anything that was IP connected, because I'm sure they couldn't sell those. But that doesn't mean Asmodee, who has plenty of licenses and access to them, couldn't maybe do new versions of things. But then Tycoon Games bought Blood Rage and Rising Sun and Ankh, and they just released or not kickstarting GameFound of Blood Rage Valhalla, which is a additional game, like a new stand. Had remembered Eric Lang just in passing mentioning something, as you know, he's super secretive about it all, but he said he was working on something in that system. And I thought in the end, bad news, but the matte cam is a bit glitchy. Okay, let me see here. Let me just try turning it on and off again. You know that old chestnut. Cut back to this. There we go. Let's see if it does it. Sometimes I get, it's, you know, it's the whole HDMI thing. We're using HDMI cameras. Most people use, like in the non-professional environments. Let's see here. Let's cut back. It seems smooth. Okay, well, hopefully that does it. Let me know, Opal. But yeah, they did that, and I don't know that that's doing that great. I mean, it may be great. I don't know, but I thought for sure. Let me look here. But I kind of want to get that one. It is Blood Rage Valhalla. Yeah, it's $750,000. Is not terrible. Almost that. And I think that it's a longer campaign. They're doing, yeah, it's still more than half a month. So I might back that one. I don't have any Blood Rage. I don't know if it's really different enough. I was just reading some people's complaints about it not being Vikings and all that, which I totally understand. I don't know what they're going to do to make that work. So I did do my wet palette. Let's see how that's doing. It's funny how much, so this is one of the wet palettes from Game Envy. I never get this right because it was something else was they originally called. The paper really, it doesn't get much wider. It just gets, the length of it gets longer. This was much smaller. You can see it curling up here. It was much smaller than the sponge, and it just keeps expanding. So we shall see here how this goes. I do need it kind of. I'm realizing that even though I'm mostly trying to use the contrast paints, and I have used contrast paints with these wet palettes, it's not impossible to do. It's not the best. But contrast paints are kind of interesting. So we're basically using them as kind of in my case, since I'm undercoating it, for the shading, I'm using it I mean, that's what it is. I don't know why I'm using it as it is designed, but I'm going with the shading from the zenithal undercoating, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a good way to go. I did spend a good amount of time. Let's see how white, pale, it came out. It's still, man, this is like I don't know how many times I've applied white to this one, but it'll be fine. But it means I'm probably going to need to do, let me look at some of the other ones. Maybe I won't do Thor today, Mighty Thor. No, they're all kind of, they look so bright when I'm painting them. And, you know, that's the issue. So maybe, I was talking about potentially using inks the other day. Maybe I need to. They may be more opaque. Now, I don't have the problem of like details being obliterated because I'm putting on the paint very thin, and I'm actually using an airbrush primer. So we'll go with this one for Mighty Thor. She only has a tiny amount of face appearing. Gosh darn it, it looks pale, it looks gray. Maybe only do one of them today if there's one that's better than the rest. It's kind of her. Wonder, did I get a splatter there? Must have. So there's a bunch of white right there, a little teeny dot. Man, I gotta tell you, I don't know. So I was getting some splashing. I don't know what happened there. The spittle, you know what I mean? It's not splashing. I should be having better luck at it than that. Yeah, it's still not fully expanded. Now, we're also super dry, so the water's evaporating quickly. I had overfilled this. I think I did it before I airbrushed, so it's been here for a little while. But yeah, everything is evaporating so quickly. So that's one of the challenges about painting. For me, here anyway, you can't extend. You kind of can, I suppose. You can always just use the medium, but you can't extend the dry time of the contrast paints or the speed paints very much. They are, hey, spilled water on the mini. It does affect them, and I have done it. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say you can't, but it isn't the best solution. Okay, so it's good so far. Yeah, it's a weird thing that it is the HDCP, which is the copy protection for video stuff, and it gives us grief sometimes. Let me pull up, what am I in? I'm multiverse here. Let's get Mighty Thor. Hey, it looks like they're alphabetical. What is going on? I had the toughest problem. That's one thing I'm very concerned about on the latest DC Superheroes United. There's not a lot of updates about the. They used to show all the minis painted, and that could be that they're not working with much, or they've let go a lot of folks, and so to reduce costs, they're probably not. I don't know how it worked with Big Child Creatives, but they were doing the paint jobs, so they're probably running into. I don't know. I don't know. I can't even guess. what's going on, and it's a bummer. I'll paint all 3 of these. Let's just go for it. So we start with the face as I usually do. Her eyes are black with a... It's weird. Is that what's going on there? Sure looks like it. So they're just like some sort of... the kind of eyes that freak Nikki out. But we'll start with some flesh. I was reading... Hey, some weird audio there. And I'm not seeing... Oh, you know what? It's probably not on. Well, thanks so much for the follow there. I don't know who it is. Let me see if I can find it. It should be on the... Mr. I have to stand up to see this. This is crazy. I'm blind. Well, it's a tiny, tiny screen I'm looking at. That's got to be it. Mr. Palatazzo? Okay, well, thanks. I think that's it. I don't know why. Let me just replay it. See why. I'm here. Let's see if we can get it to work. There we go. It is Mr. Palatazzo. Thanks so much for the follow. I can do that. I'm capable. Boy, that audio, I don't know if it sounds as bad to you guys as it does to me. It's so iffy. Now, we are running 2 streams at once. It is part of the problem. I feel like this camera's not in the right spot. Anyway, but did I get that paint? Nope. But I was noticing, this is Gorgrunta, that Louise at Rogue Hobbies, who used to work, she really likes the contrast paints, does not like the Gilman flesh. She has like a ranking chart that shows what she thinks of those paints. I think she has for other kinds of paints as well. And she does not like this color. And I gotta tell you, it was like, I did not like it originally, but I think it's an amazing flesh tone. I mean, human flesh tone, admittedly, not alien. I mean, aliens if they've got standard human-looking flesh. And I guess Thor is an alien, so Mighty Thor, though, at least in the movies, is not. She's from Earth, but... yeah, she doesn't... Is this the right one? It feels like it has more paint in it than I'm used to here. I've done all this like archiving and moving stuff around and trying to like really get things organized. We have way too many games. That's one thing we're dealing with. We're going to send a bunch to the library and the charity sale, which won't happen till spring. If you ever go to BGGCon spring, it is great. Boy, I could not tell you what I did with those paints. Anyway, this one's fine. I just don't like to... I have 2 bottles of that paint because I am using it pretty quickly, and that's why I believe that is not the one. Although it's pretty dirty, it's possibly the one. I mean, I opened the other one too. That's why I don't like opening them. But yeah, this paint works really great because it does a really wide range of skin tones. And it's pretty amazing to have it be, you know, I had, the one that really knocked me out was Shuri. I don't think she's in here right now. Compared to then like, you know, Captain America. And the skin tone variation was amazing, amazing. I would never have guessed. I mean, you know, my initial disappointment was I just was like, well, this is so dark. I don't want everything to be this dark. But, you know, I went to the store because they actually, so I did look at the colors and I realized they had additional flesh tones, different kinds of flesh tones. But this was not at the time. I mean, I believe it's part of the initial wave. And this was it from what I recall. And I was like, wow, that's not my favorite. And then I went to the store again after trying to look and see what else there was out there. And I realized, oh, wait a second. You're supposed to use the contrast medium to thin it out, to adjust the tones. And this is the last bottle. No, I have one more 3/4 of a bottle. Again, opening more than one bottle of this. I'm not going to need it for a little while, but I'm going to need one, and I should contemplate trying to get it. It's a little easier than it was the last time I bought one. I think I bought it at a Games Workshop store, and he's like, I don't know what we have, you know, because his store was so busy. Was this still during? I mean, it's post-pandemic, but are we done with the pandemic? I don't know. But he did have it. He had Lamian Medium, which I wanted, which is a glossy tone. It is not a glossy tone. But he had that, and he had a bottle of this, so that was exciting. Maybe it is a gloss. I can't remember now. I'm not forgetting because I don't use it. I told myself I needed it, and then I bound and determined to finish using all these other bottles. I have so many bottles of stuff that I want to get through them before I don't want to buy any more paint. I probably am going to have some more paint here soon that counter to that, but I'm not buying it. I don't know if that's light enough. Let's look. Doesn't have any color there, so it might be too light. Let's find out. You can build it up. That's one of the things I like about these, is if you're not worried about it, and you shouldn't, that's pretty good. She's too dark. This is a problem. I really want their faces, the skins to just be brighter. Now, I could really do it if I just painted them white, but I don't really like, although I've done it. I painted minis. She does have flesh tone arms here that were primed white. I mean, the very first Games Workshop contrast paints I used them in the manner that they recommend, which is one of the primers. There was a warm and a cool at the time, Corax and Wraithbone, I think. And the new one, I don't remember what it's called. It's called White Scar, I believe. I don't know if Corax is still around. So I have a lot of, I don't want it like to have a shadow so much so. So I'm gonna wickle a little bit of this away. How you doing, Opal? If you're still there, I know that you had Labor Day as well, spelled with a U, extra letter in there, U, for Canada. We had my mom over. I think she was surprised we had her over, but like, we have the day off, we'll have you over. And then we had our friends come over and we played some games. We actually really just played the Peak team that we played the other day. We played it with 5, which was crazy and neat. And we filmed it with with Deborah and our friend Daryl. And Daryl wanted to play at another level, which we had 2 new players with us. And I'm like, well, we can hold their hands. And they did fine. Daryl's daughter was great. Our friend Daniel, who is not as much of a gamer, he's not against it at all, but he just doesn't do as much gaming as others in our group. You know, it was a little bit of some advanced concept stuff there. It's cooperative. I don't know how many cooperative games he's played. But it was good to see them. We did not see Daniel's daughter. She stayed behind at his mom's and hung out with the pets, the dogs. So it sounds like maybe she doesn't have dogs and would love dogs. I don't know. She lives east of here, so. And I don't know. They have a house, I'm pretty certain. This is Daniel's ex-wife. So I'm pretty sure she's got a place. They could have pets, but you know, pets are a lot of responsibility. We never had dogs, and my dad loved dogs. We never had dogs the entire time. I've never had a dog. And I think that even though we've taken care of dogs, but I think I would have problems just because as much as I think dogs are great, they definitely need your attention. Cats sometimes could care less. Now, we like showering our pets with attention when you have them, and dogs love that, but they also need to go and explore and smell the world, and sometimes I'm home the whole day. Now, it would be good to go out and walk. I mean, we are doing that more, Nikki and I are trying to do that at least every other day, and that's mostly what we've been doing so far. Cemetery bike ride. You say you love watching Peak. It's so funny. What is Peak? Or is that Peak Team? Well, no, that was just Nikki and I. It wouldn't have been that funny. The episode will come out here soonish. It should be fun. It was good with Daryl and Deborah. They had never met, and that was fun. Deborah is going away to film for at least a month. So we shall see. We probably won't. We need to start filming the advent calendar. I'm not sure. I don't think we're going to get Dave. He hasn't traveled much. He did go on one of his roller coaster trips, which aren't really roller coaster trips anymore. I think he said one of the guys in the group who used to work for Imagineering retired, which is crazy. I don't know. I mean, I thought that guy was referred to as one of the young guys now. I don't know. So what I try to do on the desk now is I have what they call a Swedish sponge on my desk that's damp. It's over here in the lid of my red grass thing, and I use that, so I'm trying not to use as much paper towels. I use paper towels, but I'm trying not to use as much. And it's actually pretty phenomenal. As long as it's damp, then you can rinse it out when you're done, and it does a pretty good job of cleaning back up. But it's pretty awesome. I cannot remember which channel. I'd never even heard of them. And I'm sad they don't have them at IKEA. Come on, Swedish, but I would love it because they probably would be even cheaper. Because they're basically they are just basically sponges, but they have like what is that? Is that tan? It must be. So her skirt, I don't know if it's tan or gold. So I need to touch that up. It's sponges and maybe paper, or I mean, I don't know. It's just a skinny sponge, so it may just be some sort of a standard sponge. So the downer is, don't know why I was assuming his helmet is gold, but it's not. It is silver, and I will probably use a silver paint for that. I tried to reduce the paints that I have on the desk to ones that I'm just using, the ones that I'm essentially using regularly, like whites, blacks, and grays, and then a few color things, and then pulling out anything and then putting it back. So this is still open, which it shouldn't be, and I'm putting it back because I will not be using that today. I really need to keep the mischief managed here. That's the game. Is that another one? Oh, Peak. Are you talking about the one from Inside Up? Is that what the name of that game was? Because this one isn't mountain climbing, but it is. We did play it last Tuesday. Nikki and I did a 2-player of it. And it's great. Really great. And I don't know how available it is. It might be available in Canada already. Things coming to the US are really kind of a mess. I ordered some stuff before the tariff situation changed, so I'm kind of afraid I'm going to have a few $100 charge for something that I really shouldn't, but what are you going to do? It is something I wanted and ordered from the Netherlands. So yeah, we'll see. It isn't new though, so maybe that will help. I don't know. Having a hard enough time with 3 cats. 3 cats is a lot. We had 2 and it was too hard. Nikki, who loves animals. I mean, she is just crazy for animals. And I feel terrible that we don't have pets, but they were hard. And they were both from the same litter, so they just kind of fell apart together and it was bad. But it's changing. We're not traveling as much, so maybe. But I can't even imagine. Like, in the time since the cats have passed, our house has changed. And I don't know how good or bad that could be for us. So we'll see. Boy, that was weird. I looked at that and it looked like her thumb right here. I'm like, what's going on with that hand? And then there's a thumb there, but it's just the bottom of the handle of Mjolnir. It's interesting. It doesn't have any cracks because hers is reconstituted, at least in the movies. It's reasonable. I don't feel it looks great, though. I really would like it to be brighter, the skin to be brighter, but whatever. It's not bad. Is it focusing? Yes, it is. We have been watching interesting, like we're watching South Park. It's just so weird because it's been so long since, a good amount of time since the last ones. And I think they only did 6 episodes last season, whenever that was, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. It's weird though. I don't know if that's right. I feel like they must have done something every year. Maybe it's just a longer gap. That's been fun. It's okay. They're fun. It's always a good show. And we watched another show called Digman that's on. But this is the 2nd season. It's been since 2023 that the last season ran. And it's okay. It's fun. It's Andy Samberg. And it's produced by the Lonely Island people. So that's been fun and goofy, as is to be expected. And we actually caught up on, so they had run this summer some Bob's Burgers, which is a show we really like. Nikki really likes it. And we thought, is it gonna, because there was delays from the the writer's strike really affects animation because they work so far in advance that when it does get hit, it's very strange. So basically, now that I've got this on here, I really should not touch it, but I just saw a little bit that was kind of gel weird, so I'm going to do it anyway. But then not touch the face. You just don't want to mess up the film. That's kind of the weird thing about at least the speed paints. I mean the contrast paints. I think the speed paints do not gel as much. I don't have as many of them as I do of these, so I don't really know all of them. Well, I don't know if that's true if I don't have as many. I got quite a few of the Citadels and the Shades. But I am excited. At least there is some new minis. And I can paint those because part of the problem is you can get these minis. This is the main box from Marvel United Multiverse is available on Amazon. I think it's $40 some. Also not a bad price. It's 10 minis. But I was just kind of frustrated with it. I was contemplating not really doing anything with them because you can't buy the stuff. There's just, you know, none of the boxes of the, you know, like the, and I don't know what the story is on that. I don't know if that's something that'll come, but on the boxes from the expansion, you know, the multiple different scenario ones aren't available. There are still some out there for the very first wave. I don't know how much of the X-Men came out. I mean, I used to pay a lot more attention to that just because I wanted to make sure there was, if I'm getting any interest in your looking at these things, the show, that you might be interested in getting these to paint. And the good thing is there's a ton of things to appreciate if you're into this stuff amongst all of the boxes. So there's good stuff to paint in all of them. You don't have to be painting the ones I'm painting, which I'm certain is not happening too much here. But just to be able to get some of them, I don't know if they bought Starcadia Quest too, but I'm pretty sure they bought Arcadia Quest Tycoon games. I don't have Arcadia Quest, but I have Starcadia Quest, and I would like to paint those as well. But I think for that to happen, I have to spend several days a week, you know, evenings or something, doing this. And to make it work, I think I really need to get back to, I used to paint in the house with a little tray. I have that tray over here still. I may just need to just do that, so because, you know, I don't like abandoning my mom, and I don't like abandoning Nikki. Not that Nikki doesn't have things she wants to work on, but some of the things she works on, she just does it when we're both sitting, having after eating or after dinner or something like that. She has crochet that she works on and stuff. So I want to be like that too. I just know it's not as comfortable. But we'll see. So we're going to be watching, going back to watching Fallout because of Walton Goggins. I guess that season 2 is it here yet already, or it's coming soon? I'm pretty sure I heard. Did you watch him in The White Lotus? Is that why you're saying that? I mean, he's been around a long time. He was in I didn't watch the show, but my mom and Nikki, I believe, did. Gosh darn it. I believe it's the one with, so it's, gosh darn it, it's the one with Timothy Oliphant. And I like him, but I have not really watched, I can't even think of anything that I've watched of his. I've watched some movies. But I mean, I like him. He used to be the sports guy here. I mean, after who he was, on Indy 103.1, they had some pretty crazy stuff. He would call in and talk about the sports from his, his house, and then, or sometimes where he's filming, and then they had David Lynch was the weather. He would call in and tell you what the weather was from where he was looking up, wherever he was at. So it wasn't necessarily Los Angeles, but it was fun. That was a crazy station. It's been done for, gosh darn it, that was a long time ago. Because I think it was during maybe the Deadwood time of Timothy Oliphant, and I've actually seen a little bit of that. But yeah, he's a funny guy, so. Oh, from Righteous Gemstones. That makes sense, too. He's busy. I've only seen a little bit of the Righteous Gemstones. I'm just not much of a TV person. And it's weird. You know, I used to be not necessarily TV crazy. I haven't been much of a TV watcher for a long time, but I mean, when I met Nikki, I wasn't watching any television. I had a TV that I watched laser discs and videotapes on at the tail end of laser discs. And that was it. And then once we got together, it wasn't because of her necessarily, but our friend who was trying to get us to be a couple, he invited me over, and Nikki, and showed me shows that he liked, which at the time, you know, was like, I don't know, Friends was going, so, you know, only 32 years ago or whatever, 31 years ago. And which I liked at the time. I mean, it's still fine, but I just don't rewatch that one. I should. I remember enjoying it, but I grew tired of it, like all of them. As Nikki says, it's always everybody starts seeing each other, and it kind of ruins the show. But yeah, I just don't. But we watch more television now than, and I'm mostly kind of a half-hour person because that's about the amount of time I have to spend watching something. And I say that, but then I'll watch several. We did watch like a couple back-to-back episodes of Star Trek Brave New World. I've not ever been a crazy Star Trek person, mostly from the movies and sort of the old series. My brother and dad really liked it. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like crazy about it. Which is funny. I think I'm just more of a Star Wars person. So so Tabletop is making more arcade expansions? I don't know, Epic Cheese. You're painting up some Arcadia Quest? Yeah, they took it over, I believe. I believe they bought that. I'm hoping they bought Starcadia Quest. At a minimum, I'm just hoping it means that they start putting those things back out. Because I don't think Arcadia Quest had much available in retail. Not that they didn't have some. They used to definitely cater to retail more than they do now. But they are changing that. It is part of, I think, the problem is they don't have... You know, they stopped doing crowdfunding to try to get all these things done. They have just so many things outstanding. There's a page you can look at that shows you Simon's projects. And it's kind of disheartening, right? It's a lot of stuff. We did an episode of GameNight, and we're doing another one with our friend Travis Chance, who worked on that game when he was at Simon. And it's still not out. We did that nearly 2 years ago. I'd say 1 3/4 years since we played that. And so you can't buy it. And we were told we'd get a copy, which was like, you know, first of all, we don't like to do things during campaigns because that's one of the reasons why. And we're going to do another one for Travis. We like Travis, so it'll be fine. But this is a case where they don't show up and they take forever. And it's unfortunate. You want them to succeed, and it's very difficult to make it happen. This is one of the things that publishers get kind of frustrated with us, that we don't do them on GameNight, and that is the reason why. That, and there's actually advertising on BGG to promote that stuff. That's more effective than our show, for sure. But we have done a few things. We've done live stuff. We did Ascending Empires while it was in the crowdfunding campaign. And that one was pretty. I mean, I ended up backing it that day, and that delivered. But that one was already like in development, and hey, the compressor's going. It was in development. See, now that's loud, and that's why I can't do it on when I'm. I mean, I'm not making Scott buy me a compressor, but I really would like a quiet one. That one was in development and nearing completion from WizKids, so it was one that we knew was going to get there, and they paid. I mean, you know, that's okay if they're paying. It's part of the whole ecosystem of what we do on the website. But again, we're not huge fans of doing that stuff. We did one for just a couple weeks back for Camp Grizzly, and that's a Trick or Treat Studios. Okay, that's awesome. Arcade Quest is your favorite game rules wise. I say yeah, size too if it's not a very big book. Well, Scott has it. I've never played it. He had issues just getting it delivered. Like, I don't remember what the story was. It was kind of frustrating for him. But you know, part of the problem is if you back a lot of games, and Scott doesn't back as many as he used to, but he still backs a good amount. If you have all these pledge managers, I mean, you can imagine he owns BGG. There's a lot of emails coming in, and he misses the emails and tries not to, but you know, so he won't put it in. And I'm certain this is what happened on that one. It didn't get. I mean, Derek had that problem. Derek backed Ankh after we played it on I don't know if we did it on a live stream. I don't think so. I think maybe we did, but we played it like on Tabletop Simulator with Eric Lang. Actually, Eric Lang played it for me. He played, because I had never played the other ones, and the real problem wasn't that I couldn't learn how to play the game. It was the interface. I still don't know all those interfaces. I don't use, and I'm still subscribed to BGA, and it's fine. You know, we play some stuff on there, but not much. It's not worth me subscribing to it, to be honest. So Eric played that for me, and so Derek had a problem. His didn't get shipped, and I think he had the same problem. He just missed the questionnaire, right, for your when they're wrapping it up to get your shipping information, all that stuff. And for me, this is what's frustrating about all these things, is they have your money, so they're acting like, well, you know, you didn't do this. Like, well, you sold me this, and you have my money, and you have that information. Nobody's going to do any comparisons to see where this is at, and this has now happened a couple times with games, and that's frustrating. Now, they were nice enough to give Derek's money back, but it's a bummer. You know, he was bummed. He wanted the game. I'm glad they at least gave him his money. That's the challenge, right? Hey, Circe. It is a Tuesday. I have stuff. So this is another thing that's frustrating about the half day, or the 4-day weekend or 3-day weekend. It was a 3-day weekend. The reason why I say 4 days, our friend's daughter, their kids had Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm like, man, we never had a 4-day weekend when we were for Labor Day. Now, especially because I say that, but we might not have ever had it because I was in school. Like, the Labor Day weekend was the start of the school year. After Labor Day weekend was the start of the school year, so we had the whole summer off up until that point. And maybe that's why they're giving them 4 days, since they go in 3 weeks earlier. But yeah, it messes me up because I have to have our episode ready for this Thursday, and today's the day I usually do that. But I have things I have to do, and I do not want to be doing it tomorrow. And I don't even know if it's the one I want to release. I don't even know if it's done being edited. I have to go look, because I hope Derek took the weekend off too. I did a little bit of work. I'm always thinking, I wake up and think, oh, I didn't take care of that. So I will often do that, and I did. Some people don't like PvP stuff. You have to go into the game knowing it's for giggles. Yeah, we had a game recently like that we played, and that's a lot of folks like coming from gaming when they were young, and that's like the way games were, right? I mean, I love cooperative games too, but I like trying to play, I don't like taking others out though, and that is the biggest challenge, and that's going to be that game for sure. I'm sure, I'm certain, and that's okay, but it's just not, if it's just 2 people, then fine. But if it's 4 people, somebody sitting out for a long time is not fun. And so I do appreciate when games let you come back somehow, and that's helpful. Okay, so that's the flesh. It burns the flesh. Hey, go for it, painting. Oh, they do come back. So yeah, who cares? It's half the fun, like picking something new to play. We had that with the camp. It's cooperative, sort of. Is it? I mean, yeah, we're trying to beat the. My brain's turning off. We're trying to beat the Michael Myers of the game. And actually, what was the name of it? Jason Voorhees, I guess, is the one. So it's kind of like that. But we were trying to. I'm going to do lip color here, and I have to figure this out. This is the one thing I don't do well. The lips. I always make them. They're too strong, and I feel they need a tiny bit of red. Maybe this pink. Yeah, you don't want to be out of the game, and that's what's great. So Camp Grizzly did that. You'd get killed by the murderer, and then you'd come back as another of the camp counselors, right? There's plenty of camp counselors. In this case, there were only 2 of us playing, so it worked out well. Medium. So I'm going to go the other direction with this paint. I'm going to start with the medium and add color, because I'm mixing way too much for 3 mouths. But I'm going to build up the color on the lips so that they're not so strong, because it's what I end up doing. They're just like too clown-like. Now, boy, this is a purple. I say that I'm going to go the other direction, but it's a lot of paint. See if I can just get a tiny bit on the brush. So what I'm doing is I add the color on the, it might be too dark. Doesn't look like it on the overhead cam, but, well, I can try putting it on. It's always better to build it up. Cool, I need to try it. I'm sure I have it sitting right here, Starcadia Quest. It's probably a similar system. I'll have to try it out. I think the skin tone's not too bad. I can't figure out, I recognize this face. Obviously it's not anybody. Although I don't know, man, with the Simon, they used to do lots of the Zombicide figures. Looked like specific people, but that's probably one of the most successful mouths I've done. I might do another coat on it. Gold for all the monsters you killed on the side. for the next round in different lots. So do you spend the gold? Is the gold victory points, or do you actually spend it for things? This the folks on YouTube, this is chat's happening over on Twitch. It's only so far Epic Cheese TV is the one that's mostly talking to me. It is kind of interesting. I talk about this all the time. Painting multiples of the same model. I mean, you do that with armies all the time, right? But it kind of brings me back to some art I used to do where I was trying to do, I was not doing, and it's funny, I didn't even think about it at the time that it was Andy Warhol kind of thing. But I was trying to do them identical, like, and it did not work. They turned out neat, but they're actually, I think those paintings are underneath here on the desk. I haven't pulled them out in ages. They're not even close to being done. I was doing it in at college, so it was like something that I might have started over the summer before going my first year at UCLA. And I basically stopped because I just had so much to do. Hey, this paint's been here since last week. Needs to be put back on the rack. I need to be good about this. Hey, there's some speed paint medium. So I backed a campaign. I don't know if those are, it was called I backed a whole bunch of things. Like there's a whole 3D printed system that they did. The guy built all kinds of great stuff, but I haven't done any of it yet. But I backed another one from the same guy. What did he call it? Let me see if I can find it here. But it's a cool little rack that I think I'm going to build. Where is it? It would be in my email because I think it ended. Spinning modular rack. What is it called? Porcupaint. So it's I can show you the campaign. I don't think he made a lot of money. Now it was a kind of a weird. That's not it. It's a single item kind of thing. The other system made a lot. Yeah, it only made 11,000. Only 681 backers. Let's see if we can see pictures here. But the neat thing is it's expandable, right? You could. They were actually. So this was what was cool about. I don't like this. I can't zoom. This is what was interesting about it is they were printing some of them. So you can get a printed version, which I almost would prefer to buy. But I will 3D print one of these and see how it goes. But I want to do this. Not only can it be great to carry paints around, but it also can be just like, I want to have like a little station of stuff right by the airbrush setup that I have. The only downer is I'm noticing here, some of these paints probably won't fit. So I bought, let me see if I have one here. Here's one. I bought these and I think I got them from Amazon, maybe eBay. And you think, oh, they'll be fine. They're going to be the size of the Army Painter standard, you know, that kind of stuff. They're not. They're actually considerably bigger. And so they don't fit in any of the racks. I mean, they do. I can use like some other, I can use like the Games Workshop rack. Let me see how, size rack. Let me see how many of those fit. It's in there, but it's way loose. So it makes me almost want to make my own. I could laser cut something, but I don't know that I'm going to do that. Hey, that's gloss varnish, so it needs to go back. I'm seeing all these things I'm not putting back. So the gray is fine. This should be over here. It's a black. Where's the gray? But yeah, I'm really trying to, I really need to be diligent and try to keep the desk clear because I just can't. I have so much to do. And if I'm slowed down cleaning up every single time just to get started, it's wasteful. I've actually blew it last week where I was coming out to do something, and it took me so long to get organized that I ended up just organizing and then didn't do any more. Let me look at my blood sugar here. It's funny, I keep getting this memory, and it's the same picture of Nikki. I'm like, is it from the day of the week, or it's, you know, the photo apps reminding you stuff. Yeah, my blood sugar's a little high. It's so weird. Who knows? Anyway. Okay, these are probably dry. They are. Let's put a tiny bit more color on the lips. I know what this looks like. This looks like Emily Blunt. I only really know her from, well, I've seen Devil Wears Prada. And I love Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat. She's great in that. It does kind of look like her. That's pretty funny. And I did see the Jungle Cruise movie. It was okay. She's good in it, and so is Dwayne Johnson, but not a great movie. It's a little lipsticky now. Maybe it'll go down a little bit. That's funny. Cool, okay. Let's do the eyes, since they'll be a little bit harder. It's weird too. It looks like they're, like you see the corners of the eyes. And the way it's painted doesn't make you think. You look at it, just a standard image of that mighty Thor. What time is it? Almost 12. I can't even, it's so insane how quick we get references now. Like, oh, I'll just, you know, click on the thingy and, you know, and I would actually love to, I have a digital version of the Marvel character encyclopedia, but I wish I had a book. It's silly. I actually should just put it on the desktop here and open it up. Actually, that's a great idea. The problem is I think I have to use, it's a digital book, so I have to use a reader or something like that, you know, like a program. And it'll be for that. It might even be Kobo or something like that, if that's the one. I don't remember. Mighty Thor. Yep, her eyes are like, because she's doing that lightning bolt stuff, the Thor stuff. This is her. There should be zaps going on. So I'll paint a little bit of black, and then I'll paint probably the gray, and then a little bit of white. It's the one thing I actually do need to get, even though I don't want to. The white is just, it really thickens up so quickly. And it's a great paint. It is really a great paint, but I'm constantly dealing with it thickening up real quick. I need the black too. Yeah, the black mixes up. This is still thick. The pigment is so dense. Interesting. So it says Dr. Jane Foster is from a alternate universe, in which she became known as Thor. There's definitely not a consistency with the comic books to the movies, and that's fine. Was talking about it a little bit the other day, where I actually thought Shang-Chi was pretty good and sure would like another movie. I think that came out in 2022, maybe 2021. I mean, that's a long time. All these characters are just on hold with these shows, and they rush to introduce more, you know, like, I don't know. Gosh, this is an old brush. Nitro. Oh, my head's in the way. Is that helpful? I get on my own way, and immediately it is going to be silver, so not real critical. Don't jerk your hand away from it real quick, because if there's paint on it, but this is why I paint inside out as often as I can remember. Because I won't be touching this. I mean, I generally do okay painting around this. I think the brush is dry. I remember I painted some Hellions from the Dark Eldar army. So that was Nikki's army, but I ended up painting the bulk of it. And the reason why she took it was everybody bought the 3rd edition of Warhammer 40,000. And nobody wanted nobody wanted the Dark Eldars, so she got them all. And they were cool, you know, they're kind of gothic. Nikki's always been a goth girl. Man, that paint is dry already. So that paint, the gray, should have been on the wet palette. This is where I'm not thinking. I really need to just save those for the little fidget popper for the contrast paints and the speed paints. Okay, there's a tiny bit. Let's see, is it dry? It is dry. So this is completely dry. in no time at all. It's the weather here. It's also just Southern California in general. It does not. And I've got air conditioning going, so that only makes it dry even more quickly. Okay, well, I won't use that. I'll do it on the wet palette. I just must remember to put the wet palette in the refrigerator. It's the only way I know to prevent it from getting mildew. And you'd think it would be, so these palettes have like a little vent. This is the, where's that lid? This is the, oops. Gosh darn it. Where's that supposed to go? Probably underneath. Okay. This is the GameNight one, and it has like a little vent that you can open up in addition to a palette, which is great. I should be using that too. I think it has, oops, I'm making a mess. Did it have a, maybe this is where you put, you know, your phone and tablet for viewing, you know, which is cool. And I probably should set all that up. We have enough tablets that would do okay. I don't like buying tablets very much because we don't use them except to control cameras here. But it would be nice to have a slightly larger thing. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of wet paint on here, see how it does. Okay, my distilled water bottle has got to be somewhere. There it is. I just have a little dropper bottle of distilled water, and then I can put it on the palette and have a small amount to use to thin other paints. So you can see here, there's the bit of water and a bit of paint, and I don't need a lot of either because the water will get contaminated. I'm only concerned, so I am going to use some of the speed paints I have for the metallics. I like those a lot, by the way. Trying to darken this up a little bit with a little bit of the paint that I put in the other palette, which I shouldn't have. Should be in this one. It really won't matter. It should be fine. But the contrast paint, speed paint metallics are semi-transparent. They do reflect some of the shading underneath. I don't know that I really should worry about these eyes. It's not going to be a real problem. I'm moving fast. Don't move fast. I mean, you can paint fast, but when you're removing it from the surface, it's when I tend to mess things up. Keep touching it as I'm leaving. That's why I want to do it after. Do it before I get to the other stuff. It's the correct, in my work process, it's the right way to do it because I can fix it. I should be able to have no problem. It's, you know, it's the raised details. So pulling my brush out, I just tend to touch something and it frustrates me. Okay. Oh, I'm wondering, like, why is this ad? All these websites, you know, the wiki ones, like those, that's a fandom one, just has tons of ads. Can't be good for your browser. Definitely not good on your phone. Ugh. Do another one. Did I do all the eyes black? I did. So this brush has a bit of a hook to the tip, which is not good. And that is part of the problem what's going on here, is I think I'm touching stuff when I pull it out, and I just have to let that dry, but I got a little bit of the, it's the under of the eyelid. I still probably should paint a little bit of it. Now the crazy thing here is I'm painting a gray. This is the bright neutral gray. Bright neutral gray, right? Yes. It looks almost white. It's not white. You can tell it's not, but it is a good, and it will look more white when the silver is in there. Whatever I do on the helmet here. Yeah, this brush is not good. Let's use a good brush. That could be the problem here. I mean, this was I like this brush, but I've had it for a long time. I just pulled it out because it was sitting here. Let me try. I thought I had one of them here. I do, I know I do. This is not a great brush either, though. Game Master. I don't even know if I did a good job cleaning it here. This kind of bums me out. So what I do is I get it wet and then I bring it onto the sponge and just pull some of that moisture out and then draw the point. You can do that with the palette as well. I just want to get the sponge, the brush a little wetter on the sponge. It's funny, I'm trying, so part of it is I'm pretty sure it's the way I'm holding it for the camera, and it's not even in the great position, it's directly overhead. But I don't paint that way normally. Man, this dries fast. I should put some on the palette over here, the wet, the black. Hilariously, this new brush has a hook too. It is synthetic. That is what the thing about them that's not so great. Let's get, I have them over here. What do I have? I thought I had, pretty sure, Kolinsky. Sable. They've changed their brushes again too at Monument, so I'm not really sure what the latest versions are. We'll try this double O. That seems pretty small. Let's do the 0. It's still pretty small, but it's crazy how these. I need a better bucket for the paints. I mean, for the brushes. Okay, it has to come out faster than that does. Okay, one thing I do want to try to touch up while I'm here. Just to drop that down a little bit. Not enough. Okay. Hey, time roller. I could never. James, I think you could. Yeah, it is just noon. You could paint. You just have to have a little. You know, there's ways to steady your hands. I did not do a good job cleaning this brush. We did go get our eyes examined, both Nikki and I. She doesn't really need glasses. Like, she does sort of. She has problems reading, so she needs, like, you know, and your eyes rarely match. And so she needs probably some prescription ones that we'll give her, even though they're multipliers, but one, you know, for each different eyes you know, failures or whatever, the amount that she needs to have it, so she's gonna get them. But I absolutely need, you know, I'm nearsighted, so. Moving this paint to some of the paint from this one palette to the wet palette. So here I am doing this, and I'm using my wet palette, so it means I need to try to be back out here soon. Because if I go weeks with this palette, it will be a problem. Or I clean it completely, which I do that stuff too, which I don't like doing. I want to use it. You can use it for quite a while. Boy, there are some definite wrinkles in the palette though, man. I wonder if it's because it's drying at the same time. It's so bad. The humidity is so, well, we are actually kind of humid, but I'm in air conditioning, so it's humid for California anyway, Southern California. We don't have a ton of humidity here. Okay, so I wanted to put some white on the palette. Mixed it all up. And with rusty looking paints, washes are techniques, I think. I was proud of those. I painted the Anachrony minis. Wow. It is part of the thing. I really feel like I should get on it and just set aside, as you know, I have other projects right now, but wow, this paint is terrible. I need a new bottle. I mean, I can thin it up, and I probably need to, but it is just, it's paste. It is such good paint, though. There's definitely, you know, it's coming out in a little cake of paint here. I don't know, I mean, this says copyright. This one was made in Canada too, which they don't do that anymore. So who knows? I don't have fresh paint, but I mean water, but I do have here. I got hiccups. Need something to drink. Okay. Clean the water so it's at least not too bad. See, that eye looks bigger. Okay. Okay. It's weird, I'm definitely having some angle of attack issues here. Okay. That is too wet. And a mess. there's really no worrying about it here. I shouldn't be, because the reality is it's going to have a much more opaque paint over these little bits there. I don't think it'll be that visible. I just like that black line to be okay. Okay. Oops, going for the white too soon here. Too wet. This is one of the challenges about using the sponge that I'm talking about, the Swedish sponge, because it is damp. So it's not necessarily drying it out enough for what I'm trying to do here. I'm just making a mess, which is okay. I will put some of the gray over that. It should look okay. Seems very small though, the bright spot. This is all taking me too long. Okay, a little bit more lighter there. And then that should be okay for now. And then the next little bit I want to do for these eyes, which hopefully will be much quicker than this stuff. Hey, I'm just touching it on the eyebrow, and it's okay. Oh my gosh, I'm hitting it twice there. This is not the angle to come from this. Ugh. Let that dry for a minute. Touch that up. I'm going to do a little bit of white on the, basically like her pupil kind of a thing. Too much paint. That might work. I'm putting way too much attention. I don't usually spend even this amount of time on eyes. First of all, as usual, I just, for whatever reason, never get it smooth when I'm trying to paint on camera. But also, it's just not that. Especially eyes like this. Don't know what I'm worried about because, as I say, I'm going to be putting a metallic on here. Okay, let's get back to the one that I think that oof, what did I do there? Wow, there's so much water evaporating here. It is crazy. That's part of the reason why the palette's drying up. I just saw a bunch of water come underneath it from the sponge. Wow. Okay, well that answers a lot. I think I need to be on this more than I normally am because it's so dry. The final one. Literally just being sloppy here. Ugh, keep doing it on the back edge of that. It's not going in kind of like at a, really kind of need to kind of go in straight, which I'm not great at. And I need to remember I will be painting around it. So, good enough. Okay. I want to do some of the silver. Problem with the silver is on this paint is it goes very quickly. It separates. I have way more metallics than I thought here of this. What's a blue one? Okay. Blue steel. Well, let's put some of the speed paint medium on here, see what this does. I'm going to do it on her breastplate first, I think, even though I'm eager to do it on the Ooh, it dries fast. It's drying really fast. It does not dry the same way, that is for sure, as the contrast paints. And that's going to be a non-metallic cover under here, so color. So it needs to be kind of cleaned up. Spend forever on the eyes. That is funny. It does have, they do paint it kind of with little, maybe it's crackling with energy. Okay. I need some other silver here, I think. Sorry, Beth is asking me a question. It is thinner. I mean, I did put some speed paint medium in it, but it does flow on differently. It's very interesting. It's what I do like about it is it's going on smooth, so it's not building up brush strokes that metallics can sometimes do. Now, it's a very weird, in this case, this silver. I don't know that the silver is a really great color. I know that there have been other, like people felt the golds and the brasses or whatever are better, and that may be the case. This isn't terrible. I will probably be using, if I have one, it's the one thing I don't have a great color of, is a bright silver. I believe this is the brightest one of these, and it's dark. I mean, I don't even know what all the silvers. I don't think I have the full set of colors of the metallics. Although it is one of the ones I would like to have. Okay, I'm not done with the mask. Did I get it on the face? Too thin, I think. Let me see, where's the toothpick? I see some right here and I don't like it. Yeah, shucks. Okay, well, let me put down a little bit of light color there. And we'll try to probably worth just leaving it. Although I may do some shading for the cheeks and stuff like that, and I probably should let it go with that. I will leave it alone. He says as he's reaching to do something about it. Not bad. Okay. I don't have all the silver here. I just, boy, this color just separates so quickly in here. Wow. Not a lot of black. The palette is, the Fidget Popper palette is dry. Not dark enough. Post paint today. I have so much work to do today. I'll have lunch, which I'm dying for, and then I have lots to do. So much stuff to do. We have house things that we're working on, which we did okay on. I'm putting in some lighting in a cabinet, and it's been a tremendous amount of thinking, and it's so frustrating. Wow, that paint is gone. Not a big deal, I can pour more, but I don't know what's going on either. It's a warning about the weather or Okay. I really want to paint the hair too, but I think I'm done for the day. I am. It's almost 1. Goodness gracious. Okay, got wrapped up there. Let me change glasses. We have the heat warnings where it's really warm. Oh yeah, I was clicking away. Okay, well there you go. Exciting. It's turning out okay. We'll see. I can't wait to get some other colors in here and stuff. It's always weird, but I do like this. Metallic. It's kind of cool. I'm going to try to do some brighter silver. I do wish there was a brighter silver in that paint, but it's probably hard to make. The fact that they have any metallics, Games Workshop hasn't pulled that one yet. I don't know that they will or not. I don't know if they've. I really like how thin it goes on though. That is exciting right there. I do have some other paints that will do that. A pretty good job. I love this one. I feel these are good. This is silver too. Well, you can't see it. Silver. But I don't think it's bright enough. I mean, what I really need is what I remember as being mithril silver from Games Workshop. I don't know who has something like that. There's got to be somebody. Anyway, can you paint with all of the colors of the wind? I guess you can paint whatever how you want to do it. We will be streaming on Thursday a regular game night playthrough. I don't know what we're going to do. We played, as I said, we played that Peak Team, which was really fun. And hopefully we will figure something out to play. I did not end up using that brush. I got it out. I do need to use it here. Boy, I really cannot see with these glasses. I need to not have them on. Anyway, try to have a good week if we don't see you on Thursday. Stay cool if you're dealing with what we're dealing with. And I hope you guys have a great one. I will see if there's somebody to raid. believe I have it going on here. It's such a tiny little display here. So, I hope I'm logged in here. I should be. It is interesting, like, they change these things, and so my muscle memory is to go specific places, and it doesn't work like that. So many things. My phone just got the latest updates, and they are very challenging. Boy, I cannot see any of that there. Let me get up closer. We had a good weekend. It was mostly working on projects, but we also hung out and played some games, which was awesome. Actually, one game, a longer game of Peak Team with 5 of us, with 2 noobs. Noobs. Wow, why am I not seeing? Once again, this stuff is so bizarre. I want to have our team. Gosh. Oh, you know what? It's during the day. There may not be as much. Let me put on some readers, because boy, I can't see that. Now, I've been wearing glasses the whole time here, so my actual prescription. Hey, Flare Blue, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, I can see that. Boy, I don't know. Fortnite. Why are we not seeing following? Oh, maybe I can add a following. Find a filter. Following. Sorry about this. I don't know. Nope. Search live channels or raid. Boy, why would they change this stuff? Nope. It's a filter that is not there. Anyway, let's see if there's something we can raid. Definitely not Fortnite. We can't raid a video game on these people. Hey, somebody's playing Ink. Miniature Market. Okay. I'm eager to try that game out. So we're going to raid. They've been going for a half an hour. Say hello. If they'll let us raid, I don't know. So if you're on Twitch, you can click on to check it out. I've not watched anything that Miniature Market has streamed, but that's kind of cool. So we can raid. I don't know if anybody's following. Hey, we got 16. Okay, everybody, you take care and have a good one. And everybody on YouTube, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks for the chat. You guys were super great today. And I hope you guys have a great week. And hopefully we'll see you on Thursday evening, 5:30 Pacific Standard Daylight Time.